This is the Life's Journey with Best Friends podcast. Listen as two best friends for over 40 years share our experiences, insights, and unique stories.
Hi, BFFers. It's Julie, executive producer of the Life's Journey with Best Friends podcast. September is Suicide Awareness Month. In 2020, I lost my son Jake to suicide. In his honor, we created a scholarship, and Noelle, Diana, and I wanted to do something special this month in the episode. So we are actually interviewing two young people who are making a very big difference in the world, trying to do something about suicide and mental health. So we have one guest who is the winner of the scholarship and another guest who is a young person who started a benefit kickball tournament. We're really excited to have them on. We are very pleased with all the work that they're doing and look forward to their success.
If you or someone you know is struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, please use the 988 Lifeline or call 1-800-273-8255.
Hello, Areen. Very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for applying to the Jake Thomas Williams Scholarship. Very happy that you were selected as the winner. I'd love for you to share a little bit about yourself.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. Thank you for your generosity. My name is Areen Hashemi, and I'm a 17-year-old mental health advocate. I'm based in Virginia, and I'm also an OCD warrior, obsessive compulsive disorder. My mental health advocacy work focuses on destigmatizing mental health and making sure that everyone feels like they belong in this world and no one feels like they're weird or that they're abnormal and they are unwanted in any way or they're unworthy in any way. Through my blog, Normalizing the Conversation, I just share stories of other people and what they've been through, whether it's like a mental health condition or just a mental health journey that is like not related to neurodivergence. I just share stories of everyone from around the world in hopes to show that someone like them is a real person, that their feelings are valid, and that there are so many other people going through so many of the same things and that you're never alone in your journey.
Oh, that's great. It's
Thank you.
really inspiring to hear. Now, tell me more about the blog, Normalizing the Conversation. And I think in your essay, you also mentioned Generation Union.
Yes, that is my nonprofit. So my blog is basically, it's like a blog and a community. And like I said, it just tells the stories of mental health warriors like me and just kind of like tries, it's in the name, like our mission is in the name, like normalizing the conversation, right? We're just trying to destigmatize talking about mental health and celebrating stories of powerful individuals instead of like making them feel ashamed because they're powerful and they shouldn't be afraid to share their story. Um, it does seem simple, but I think it's really impactful because for me, like I mentioned in my essay, the inspiration behind normalizing the conversation was actually going on Reddit, which is a social media platform. And on there, there's like subreddits basically where it's like r/memes or something. And there's also a subreddit dedicated to mental health and even more specifically dedicated to OCD and has a lot of members, which was surprising to me, of course, when I was first learning about OCD and what it is and why I have it. So just reading posts of people like me, like I know firsthand how impactful stories can be. And it's just like that's the inspiration behind normalizing the conversation. I remember in the first year that I created NTC, someone DM'd me saying that they are so grateful for this community. And it was so crazy because I was like, we're just a couple posts in. Like, it was just crazy to me that someone already considered it a community. And I remember her specifically telling me how I gained a lot of like good deeds written in my afterlife notes. It was like a specific foreign word that I didn't recognize, and I was like, that is so sweet. Like, not only am I making an impact on someone else, but it's someone that is like in a completely different world than me, right? In a completely different country. And it's like, it goes to show how destigmatization of mental health has no boundaries, right? It applies to everyone, no matter your age, your gender, your nationality, your income. Like, it really is a universal thing. And it's something that we can universally bond over. So yeah, it was like low key in that exact moment. I made my younger self proud. I was like, 9-year-old Areen would have been so happy over this.
Oh, well,
So
17-year-old Areen is obviously very
yes,
happy about this. Yeah, that's amazing. Wow, really impactful. I find that so amazing and powerful that you're making such a
thank you,
difference. It's great.
thank you, thank you. Um, right, and I was gonna talk about Generation Union. So
Hmm.
basically, it's a nonprofit I helped found it with my wonderful friends who love volunteering. We volunteered together, and then we decided to like take it a step further. Basically, once again, with like normalizing the conversation, Generation Union's mission is in the name too. We unite generations. We want to bridge the gap between the elderly folk and the younger folk to uplift elderly mental wellness, because it really, like, I read this article where it's like intergenerational work is just so uncommon nowadays, and I was like, that's so true, honestly. And
Hmm.
just going to residents' homes where loneliness is an epidemic, truly, and maybe these elderly folk don't get that many visits, just going there, I feel like does make an impact, and doing activities with them makes them feel like they they belong in the community, and that's exactly what I try to do with that. Essentially, we like host social events. An example is the Mother's Day luncheon that we had in May, I believe. It was like over the summer almost. I just saw so many amazing friendships form. It was just so cute. Two other volunteers, one of them is named Addison and another is named Hoop. We were just overwhelmed by how grateful and happy the residents were at Walton Wood, which is like a resident community in Ashburn. And it was like, because it was such a simple gesture, like all we did was like cater some potbelly and just talk to them, because like we had no idea how many grandmothers were unable to celebrate with their children and grandchildren. And that low key resonated with me because like I'm an immigrant and my grandma lives in my home country, and so did Hoop's grandma. And I was like, this is so cool. Like, we are literally bonding over the same thing. Hoop and I were bonding, the residents and I and the volunteers were bonding, and it was just such a great moment.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
my parents actually worked in a nursing home when I was growing up, and I
Uh-huh.
spent a lot of time there with the patients, and they loved having kids visiting, even if they didn't know you. And I was very comfortable around that growing up. And but you saw it, yeah, you saw that they had very few visitors, and I think that's
Mhm.
wonderful that you and your friends are doing that. And
Thank
I
you.
know some countries are actually in some places they're actually offering credits to young people, as you know, for school that they spend time with, they volunteer their time. I think there should be more opportunities like that. I love that you're doing that. That's amazing.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. You're so kind.
So obviously mental health advocacy and suicide prevention is very important in what you've been doing. Tell
Absolutely.
me about your future plans.
Oh, of course. So not only is it important to me right now, it is absolutely important to me in the future, because I want to be a psychiatrist and I want to just continue making impact in this field. Like, it's not going to be just like a one and done for me. I would probably be specializing in pediatric psychiatry, but I didn't really decide on that yet because I have to go to medical school and all that. So that's when I'll decide that. But like
Long
I
journey,
want
but
to,
good for
yeah, oh
you.
my God, yeah, like but it's worth it. It's long, but it's worth it, and I know it's going to be amazing and rewarding, and I don't care how long it takes because I want to do it. Um Honestly, I don't want to even join a private practice or anything. I want to be part of this nonprofit called Doctors Without Borders, which I already mentioned in my essay,
Mhm.
because like I want to help those who actually truly lack mental health resources the most. I know, like, especially considering current events, I don't know if you're hearing about the war in Sudan between like the government. There's like two government entities fighting, and like it doesn't matter what's causing it. It matters what's the consequences, and that's like so many children being displaced. And I can't imagine the amount of trauma and just mental health struggles like combined with physical struggles, and then the feeling of being homesick. Like it's just so bad, and
Yeah.
I wish I was there to help those kids. Like I wish there was some way I could reach them. So in the future I want to be a doctor with Doctors Without Borders to actually reach those children and who are suffering from traumas of war, and give them access to the urgent medical care they need, because it is so beyond critical for their future as well. I can't imagine like what their parents were going through, and like how hopeless these children are. And yeah, and I know it's
Yeah.
probably going to be difficult, but alongside that, I do want to continue my own nonprofit work. So other than working with Doctors Without Borders, I want to continue Generation Union, because it's just not something I can ever let go of. I want to
Yeah.
continue being executive director and lead it to success. We did start the chapter program, so we hope to just scale that in the future, hopefully nationally. So yeah.
That's great. And our podcast, a lot of our followers are in the Northeast.
Uh-huh.
And I would encourage people that are watching this that if, especially if their kids are watching, teenagers, if they are interested in something like this and setting up a chapter, we could certainly connect them with you. And I think
Yes,
that would be
please.
fantastic.
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. Anything else you'd like to share about the work you're doing or the direction that you're going in?
Nope. I think like I shared so much already.
That's great. No, I'm so impressed by you, and I really, really appreciate what you've been doing and what you will continue to do. And honestly, you're exactly the kind of person that we were hoping to support with this scholarship. It really is a beautiful way for us to honor my son and help other people that are struggling. So thank you so much, Areen. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Okay, so today we have a special guest with us. His name is Noah. Noah, I'm going to have you pronounce your last name because I don't want to kill it.
No worries, it's Dhaliwal.
All right. So I met Noah through my son Jason. They've gone to high school together, and because they go to high school, Nana Betts, our ice cream store, sponsored this organization that Noah started with a couple other kids in Woburn High called Kick It for a Cause. And it's for suicide prevention. And because this is Suicide Prevention Month, we figured we would have him on and tell us about this great cause. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Noah.
Yeah, I mean, grew up in Woburn, lived there my whole life, and then went to Boston College for my undergrad. Currently at Suffolk for law school. Then tried to be pretty active with community service all my life, and this is kind of what led me to start Kick It to begin with. So, yeah, just kind of going through the motions and enjoying life so far.
So as a 17-year-old when you started it, like
Yes.
what made you guys start the organization?
Yeah, so I had been involved with a few other organizations around just doing volunteering my time throughout high school and middle school. And it had gotten to a point where I kind of felt like I'd learned enough from all those organizations that I could start something of my own and kind of had a desire to. So like I threw around a couple ideas in my head, was going through a few different things. I kind of knew that like doing like a tournament style thing or something that involved intramural sports to get people involved was probably the best way to do it. So I went through a couple of different causes that I had connections with. I mean, one of the first ideas I had was I was thinking about doing a flag football tournament for wounded veterans in honor of my grandfather. But around this same time that I was, kind of mulling this all over, my co-founder Sam Gary came out with his story about his struggle with mental health and suicidal ideation, and I read the article that was posted about him and that he did as an interview, and it's just kind of like the stars aligned. I read it and it just impacted me in such a way that I went to him with this idea, and we met at the Woburn Library one afternoon in June, and we've been rolling ever since.
Crazy how it's, you know what I mean? It's just it's amazing because you're in high school with all the high school things going on, you know,
Mhm.
your academics, sports, and then you decide, because I know I would never, as a 17-year-old, think, let me start an organization. So,
No,
I
no,
mean,
we were
kudos.
more like,
It's great work.
right. We were more like, oh, how do we get to the mall? Who's going to give us a ride to the mall? It was nothing like this at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just out of curiosity, now this was something that you created with someone else. Now, how long have you guys been doing this?
It's going to officially be 5 years as of next month, so in October. We held our first tournament on October 19th in 2019.
Wow.
So just, yeah, our 5-year anniversary is coming up in actually exactly a month. So
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah. Why did you decide to do kickball versus football? Because you originally were thinking
right.
football.
Right. So it was more like, I think when we had discussed a few different things, the idea was to get as many people as involved as we could. Football requires a little bit more athleticism, a little bit more coordination. Kickball is
And I
just
could
a
not do
playground sport.
football.
Yeah, but like kickball was a playground sport. It's really easy to play.
Yeah.
We're able to get people from all walks of life to come. We have the city council who participates every year, and then we get high school kids who come in. So it's really a good way to encompass anyone from any athletic background, any age, just anything of the sort. It just seemed like the most all-encompassing one that we could
Yeah,
find.
absolutely. It definitely was. It was a lot of fun. I played the first year. Second
Right,
year, I
yes.
was like, yeah, I'm gonna sit out this year.
Diana, did you have a designated runner or did you actually run?
I don't think I actually got up. Our team really wasn't that great, so, but I was there. So I was the cheerleader.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been like, I'll kick the ball, but someone else has to run.
My mom puts together a team of all moms, so like all of my friends' moms and all of her friends, and they go out and play. They do exactly that. They pick designated runners. They don't feel like going around the bases, but they still have a ton of fun, and it's so much fun to play with them.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
a ton of fun. It was a great idea to do kickball because it can include everybody.
Yeah, in any age, really. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was a phenomenal idea. So now, how do you go about your fundraising? I know you approached Nana Betts, which is how you and Diana now know each other. So do you typically go right to businesses or do you use all different avenues?
Yeah, so the idea is that, we tapped into personal connections first, obviously, to try to get us off the ground. When you're starting something like this, it's hard to get people to just hand over cash. So, we went the personal route first and really tapped into all those. And then once we kind of got like our legs underneath us a little bit, we were able to just start emailing and approaching businesses and seeing if they wanted to be involved once we kind of had our name out there a little bit more.
That's really cool. So how do people donate? Like, do they give you cash or is it, is there a website that you can go to?
Yeah, so our website, kickitforacause.org, has a donation button up year round. Most of our donations, of course, come around the event and the planning and the lead up because that's when we're the most active currently. But yeah, like the day of the event, we accept cash, checks, pretty much anything anyone's willing to give us.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Now tell us what the date is for next. It's June. Is it June?
We haven't gotten there yet, unfortunately. I would say, I think we're going to aim for around the same time as last year. So maybe mid to late June. You just have to figure out what the high school schedule are with letting us use the fields and go from there. But I would venture to guess that it would probably be around the same time. So mid to late June.
Awesome. Great. And we will have all the links and Julie will put them in on our Facebook page and everything. So hopefully being on here, we'll be able to get you some more. Not that we have 1 million followers, but who we have,
helps.
We'll spread the word. Helps. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So do you now that you're in law school, I'm sure you are so busy. And like you said, you're not really prepared yet for June because it's like a year away and that takes a while. So do you think that you'll continue this or are you going to pass the torch or what's your plan?
Yeah, it's a great question. I currently don't have any plans to let it go or pass the torch. I mean, that's speaking from a time in my life where I don't of course I'm in school, but like there's not too much pulling me in different directions currently.
Right.
But I don't think there's ever going to be a day where if this organization is still standing that I'm not involved at some capacity. I don't think I'll ever let it go. I've got a true connection to it. I've loved the work we've been able to do, and I can really see the sky's the limit for us if we keep going on this trajectory. So I wouldn't rule it out that I'd let someone else take charge if I felt that they were going to do a better job than I was, of course. But as of now, I think that I'm going to stay with it as long as I can.
Right. This is your baby. This is your creation. You're like, no one can do a better job.
Right. Nobody can ever do a better job.
No, absolutely not. So now the money that you do raise, so where does that money go to? What does it help? Or do you have a certain organization that you donated to? Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, of course. So the first year we ran it, we weren't incorporated as a nonprofit, so it was just kind of like a fundraising event. All of our net proceeds went to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, who we were able to foster a good relationship throughout the years. Once we incorporated, we've wanted to do more on our own and sort of do our own programs. We haven't quite gotten there yet in terms of like the logistics and the funding. So we've still been kind of allocating money to different local organizations and some national organizations. To name a few, NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illness, I believe, SCI, which is a local one near Woburn, Social Capital Inc. And then this past year, our main donation went to the BRIGHT program, which is a program that helps kids who exit school due to mental health issues kind of reintegrate back into the school system and, help them with their day-to-days on kind of mellowing back in and really having a good adjustment period for that.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome. Wow, those are some great. Wow, I haven't even heard of all of those. So that's awesome.
Well, like listening to Noah, right, and then send us back into high school and 20s. Nowhere near as mature. Nowhere near. It's amazing. You're doing wonderful. I mean, your mom has to be so proud of you, Noah.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm sure she is.
Noah, you have to help me convince Diana that we need to create our own team next year.
100%.
All right.
I'm on board.
I'm on board with
if Noelle runs the bases, I will do it. Deal or no deal? This is on TV.
Wait a minute. I said I needed the designated runner. What are you talking about?
Shout out all the people who work with me on this. We've got a great team of people from Woburn and some people I met during my time at BC. Emily, Mac, Ari, and Amanda. I could speak for hours on each one of them and the way they've impacted me and the hard work that they put into the event every year. And if you want to learn more about them individually, just so I don't waste too much time, on our website, kickitforacause.org, they each have bios. You get to learn more about each and every one of them. They're amazing people, and I could not even fathom still doing this without every single one of them.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
You have a great team that you work with.
Oh yeah,
right.
I gotta attribute my parents too. They're on me about it. They were when I was younger and wasn't as organized, and they still are. They still do so much to help me out, and I'm extremely grateful for them as well.
All right, Noah, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. You're doing great work. Keep it up, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
If you or someone you know is struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts, please use the 988 Lifeline or call 1-800-273-8255.
We here at Life's Journey, wish everyone well. We hope that everyone has an amazing, amazing week. And if there's anything we can do, reach out to us.
Yes, please.
So, but you always have to remember, it is better to have a friend with two chins
than two faces.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Have a good night.
Bye.
You've been listening to Life's Journey with Best Friends. For details on any of the things we've mentioned in the podcast, including photos, visit our website lifesjourneybff.com. You can also email us at lifesjourneybff@gmail.com or visit us on Facebook, Instagram, or Threads.
Remember, no matter where life takes you, you are never alone when you have a best friend by your side. Until next time.